This upcoming season, there's quite a few guys who are trying to make or break their career, whether trying to bump up the price on their next contract or trying to resurrect their career and be prevented from being labeled a bust. We'll view and talk about some of these guys. The first guy, you already see him. We're going to be talking about Jerry Jeudy. Jeudy was a first round pick by the Broncos in 2020, and at the time he was debatably the best in the class. CeeDee Lamb and Jefferson were both drafted after him, and I think we can all agree that they've had the better careers. Jefferson recently signed a record-breaking deal, and CD is on his way to get a big payday as well. Jeudy, though, was traded from the Broncos to the Browns recently for some late-round picks. In 4 years, he's only put up 3,000 yards and 11 touchdowns, which is definitely not the 15th pick worthy. You could blame some of this on poor quarterback play, but I believe that Jeudy, like Steven Smith said, will just be a jag his whole career. He's also struggled with drops so far too, and we haven't seen these issues go away. The Browns, after trading for him, did sign him to a 3-year, $52 million extension, which was a pretty questionable move in my eyes. This will be a huge year for Jeudy to prove that he's worth a top 3 spot in the wide receiver room, and I'm honestly not rooting for him, but maybe this will motivate him to be better than just a guy. A wide receiver in a similar spot last year, I would say, is Calvin Ridley, and maybe T. Higgins for this year. Aiden O'Connell is the next person we'll be talking about, and although AOC might not be the starter, he will be competing in training camp. This is definitely a make or break year. This will be a season to prove if he can truly be a bridge starter for a team, or if he's just a backup. He could be in a similar situation to the QB he's now competing with in Gardner Minshew. O'Connell looked solid last year, not starting the whole season, but putting up some solid numbers for a mid-round first-year QB. Little over 2,000 yards and 11 TDs. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see him at all this upcoming season for the Raiders. I also believe if another team's quarterback goes down, he could be a guy they try to target for a quick replacement to stay competitive. I honestly believe that him and Minshew could both turn into the modern-day Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh McCown. AOC would probably be the Josh McCown in this situation, but I think that he does have the potential to be a bit more than that. This definitely will be a career-making year for him, and I'll be rooting for him unless he plays against the Horsies. Next, we're going to talk about J.K. Dobbins, and honestly, there's a couple guys for the Chargers you could say, including Gus Edwards and Quentin Johnston, but I want to focus more on J.K. Dobbins, and we know that Gus Edwards is a solid running back too, but I think if he's the full-time back for the Chargers, he'll fail heavily. I think Dobbins should see a lot of snaps this year and a few targets. Dobbins has missed year after year with injury. He looked very promising and solid his rookie year after coming out of running back University, Ohio State. But in 2021, he destroyed his leg and would miss all of the season with an ACL, LCL, thigh, hamstring tear, all of those being torn. These are all pretty bad injuries, obviously. And in 2022, he did a solid job bouncing back from these gruesome injuries, and the Ravens handled it well by not making him the number one back. He put up 500 yards, which isn't all that impressive, but something solid for the situation he was in. And at the very start of 2023, he tore another muscle, this time being his Achilles. I do think the Chargers is a great fit for him, though, with Jim Harbaugh and Gus Edwards to once again help take the load off of him. I don't think Dobbins will become a workhorse back with his injury occurrence, but I still believe in him to rush for 1,000 yards. I think a good year for him this year would be around 700, 900 yards, and a little bit in the receiving game too, but just more importantly to show consistency. I think with running backs, the guys who stay in the league because of consistency. Derrick Henry has been very consistent and hasn't had many injuries, and it's one of the reasons that Gus Edwards is still in the league after so long. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I didn't quite write up an outro, but I hope you guys share your thoughts here and just let me know what you think or some other players to add to this list. And we could see another video of these players, maybe new players. But I hope you guys have a good day.